Hello folks, I just want to show you a quick demo of the Amazon EventBridge generator for catalog that is now launched, and you can use this to generate your event catalogs using your Amazon schema registries. I'm super excited by this one. I'm a big geek when it comes to Amazon EventBridge, one of my favorite AWS services, and now you can actually generate your catalogs using the schema registries that they provide. So let me just quickly give you an overview in this video. I'll give you an overview of how it works. I'll show you an example of how it works with filtering and services and domains. And then I'll show you how you can get started. So you can head over to here, which is the GitHub repo, but it's got this visual that I'll explain now how it works. Is the generator will fetch schemas from the discovered schema registries. This is the way Amazon EventBridge, if you turn this on for your event bus, it will automatically document schemas for you and version them for you. So we can pull in schemas from there, or we can pull in schemas from custom registries that you may have, which I know a fair few people do. And then what will happen is it will generate your event catalog for you with the schemas. It will generate a page for every event. You can map events to services, and you can map events to domains, services to domains, and so on. So what features you get out of the box are schemas, JSON draft and open API schemas. You get domains and events, code bindings, services, automatic versioning. So if when Amazon EventBridge versions your schemas, this versioning automatically happens in EventCatalog too, and change logs and all sorts of things. So here is a big guide on how you can get started, but I won't bore you with that. I will just show you how to get started with a demo. So let's head over to VS Code. And as you can see, this is a demo application. I just created a new catalog using the command that you'll find on the website. Now, when you get a catalog out the box, you'll have some services and events, and you'll also have this event catalog config file. So what we are going to do here, let me just zoom in for a minute so you can see this, is we are going to define the configuration for our plugin. So what we have here, we have a generator, and we import this here, which is the EventBridge generator. We set the region, so where exactly is your event bus and your registry, and then we set a registry name. Now, if you're using schema discovery, this will be the name of that schema registry, but you can have custom registries, you can set custom schema name, registry names, all sorts of things. So it's really up to you. So now everything else is optional. So you can also pass it credentials if you want, but that's optional. And you can read documentation of how to get that up and running and what policy and credentials that you need if that's the route you want to go. But now what we want to do here, right? And let me talk you through a couple of examples. So let me head over to AWS actually and show you what I have in my registry. So here is my discovered schema registry. As you can see, I have quite a lot of schemas, each with different sources and schema names, different versions and all sorts of things, okay? And so what I'm going to do is start mapping some of these into my catalog. And why I want to do this, because it provides my teams value so they can start to see what services are producing and consuming what, which is a big problem when it comes to EDA at scale and governance nightmares. So let's head back over to the code. So let me walk you through this. So I've defined a domain, which is the shopping domain. This could be anything. This is my bounded context. This is the thing that's going to encapsulate all my services within this particular domain. I have a service here that I'm going to define as the order service. Now this could be a bunch of Lambda functions, could be step functions, whatever. Doesn't matter at this point. We just know we have an order service we want to document. Now here, what we're going to say simply is just, okay, this service is going to send these particular events. Now send, think of send as produce, I guess the same thing, but we're sending some messages, and this so happens to match the detail type delivery delayed. Okay, so the order service for some reason is sending that, and it receives or consumes a message, an event called this, and we are going to version this service as 1.00. And that's it, right? So when I run generate, so what we're going to do now is go in the terminal, let's create a new terminal. Let me just clean up the catalog here, and then run npm run generate, and let's have a look what happens. So as you can see here, actually fetching EventBridge schemas from the registry, and then it's going to give us some logs exactly what's happened. So we're processing the order service, and we've got the event, and we basically create the event, and we attach schemas to the event. We create this event and this event. Okay, so we're going around and doing some things, which is cool. So here, this is what we have. So we have a domain, which is the shopping domain. So this is the thing that we created. It's inside this domain is the order service, which is fine. Next thing we have is the events, and we have a delivery delayed, and we have inventory updated. So let's have a look inside of these, and what you can see is we have an index file. So this is what's generated by the plugin. So you can see here we have some badges, we have a version, we have the schema path. I'll tell you what all this means in a minute. We have some custom MDX components and some markdown down here, fantastic. Alongside that, we also have some schemas that we can download for the plugin for the event. So here we have the same thing. We have this plugin, as you can see, this event, and then we have the schemas associated to this event with the Open API spec, and we also have the JSON draft schema there. So what happens when we load this thing? What does it look like? Well, let's start doing that. Let's open the terminal again and then run dev. So this will start the catalog locally on my machine. Let me just kill everything else and clear that. And so now we just get that on port 3000. Let's head over to the browser and see what's happened. So let's head over to localhost 3000. So here's the catalog out the box. We have one domain, one service, and two events. If we go to the documentation and load this, we can see we have a domain, shopping, we have the service, and then we have the messages. So let's go inside the domain. As you can see here, we have a nice architecture diagram of just one service. We have a service that's receiving one event and publishing one event. If we go down to the service itself, we see the same thing, and we can document this service as we want. If we go to the message, we can see now this is all generated from the plugin. So first of all, we get an overview. Okay, this is a documentation for delivery delayed version 1. We can actually click on these and open things directly in the AWS console. So if I click on view schema in the console, it will take me directly here. So I can start doing stuff, exploring stuff, download code bindings as an example. What else can we do? We can download the schema. If I click on this, I can just see the schema directly in EventCatalog, which might be useful for some. And then down here, we can scroll down. So we get, how is this event used? What does the architecture look like? Well, we've documented the event to say this service here is actually publishing this event. This event so happens to be an EventBridge event. Down here, we have schemas. So we have the schema viewer. This is the JSON schema. So we can see the account, the detail. It has an order ID and a timestamp, and then loads of other stuff, which is EventBridge stuff. And down here, we've got the Open API spec, and we can just have a look at that and see that. We can download schemas. We can click this view and visualizer. Fantastic. And then we can go to the other event, and we can see the same thing. If we go to the service, we can see these things. And if I click on the service or this event, we can zoom in and we can start exploring some stuff, which is fantastic. Great start. So let's go back to the code and add some more complex situations and also custom filters. So let's go to the code and close this and go back here. So I created some examples. Let me just go and grab these to show you what is happening. So let's say we had another service, and this service is the payment service, okay? This service sends these events. Now, we have the option to filter all events using the source. So for those who don't know, EventBridge has the concept of source and also has the concept of detail type, which is the event name. Source I tend to think of as the boundary. It's like up to you. It's a string that you can use. I tend to use the domains here or the service. In this example, we can safely say that our team is raising, using this source and raising these events with the app.payment source. So what the plugin will do is go to all the schemas that match this, download them, and assign them to this payment service. What we're going to do too here is actually say this service receives an event, but this time we're going to send the detail type. It receives a particular event, and it is the inventory updated. We're going to set it to 1.0, and now we're going to go back and run generate. So let's do that. And as you can see, we're fetching the schemas again. We're going to generate the catalog, event catalog. The plugin will know what needs changing, what doesn't need changing. It will know if things need versioning or not. And as you can see, some things were skipped during that process. So let me just clear up here and run dev again and go back to the UI, and let's see what's happened. So if I refresh this, we should see a new service come into action, which is the payment service. If I click on this, we can see that the payment is sending this payment received event and payment received here. So if we had future events, we would see these events come in. And the domain now actually has two services in it. It has the order service and payment service, and you can see both of these services receive the event of the inventory updated, and they both publish an event over here. We can actually go here and start searching for events. We can say, okay, payment received, and we can see the producer of that. We can dive in deeper. And again, we're back at the page where it tells us about the event from EventBridge. So what else can we do? Let's go back and have a look. So some other things that we can do if we stop this and go back and grab some more services as an example and walk you through these. So I have a promotion service that is going to send these messages. Now we can use prefix filtering. So anything that starts with app or app.promotions, whatever it is. Any schema name that starts with that, we can just assign to the service. This service will send these events. Notification service down here, we've got prefix down here of, you can also do suffix matching if you wanted to, like this, and it would match the end of the string. But you can see here we've got a notification service that sends everything to do with notifications using this, and then receives any promotion type of messages, events. And then we have this user service, and we have a detail type of just user signed up. Okay, so great, let's have a look at that. So what we do now is we just come back here, we run npm run generate. This will go fetch all the schemas, upload them, version them if it has to, do nothing if it doesn't need to, and document our event architectures. We run dev again, and then we head back over into the UI and see what's happening. So I'm going to refresh this, and we should see some changes. So now we have some more things going on. We have a notification service. This notification service receives a promotion event. We have the order service that is publishing and receiving events. We have payment services, promotion services, user services. The domain itself is more complicated now. As you can see, we can open this in the visualizer and we can start seeing more and more events, more different services. This is the shopping domain, and we can start seeing what things are happening in here. We can actually dive deeper, and we can actually go to discovery and say, okay, I'm interested in particular events. Let's say delivery events, and we click in here and we can see that, and then we can see exactly how this is used, and we can just build this up over time. So let's have a look at something interesting, versioning. So this is user signed up version 5. Okay, so as you can see here, we're publishing this event. This is what the schema looks like. Fantastic. So let's see how automatic version works. So let's go back to the code for a minute, and let's stop our thing. And I have a script here that's going to raise an event. This event is the user signed up. It's got some fake information in there, but what we can do here is actually add a field or change the payload of the event. Now, the way EventBridge works is it will automatically do that discovery for us and version this event. So what I'm going to do is actually run this and expect a version 6 to be created for us. So what I can do is raise the event, and then you can see the event has been raised. And now what we're going to do is wait a minute or two for schema discovery to work and come back with a new version. Okay, so fast forwarding into the future, the event has actually come. So let's have a look at this. So if I have a look in the schema registry, I can see a new version 6 has been added. EventBridge has versioned this for us. What does this mean for EventCatalog? Well, if we go back into our code and then run generate, so look, npm run generate, we should have a version 6 come on, and EventCatalog will version this for us. So let's have a quick look. As you can see, event user signed up, v6 was created, previous version was versioned, right? So if we go down and we run npm run dev, start the catalog locally again, head over to the browser and to our catalog, and refresh the page, we should see, let's have a look, see what happens. So as you can see here, we refreshed on version 5 and it says, new version has been found. Are you sure you want to be looking at this one? We click on the version 6 and now we scroll down, we can actually see the new schema changes here. As you can see, we've got the name, user ID and username, so we added the name on. So one thing that's coming soon will be automatic diffs in changelog. So we'll be able to actually click on the changelog and start seeing some diffs there. And that's about it for now. So what this allows you to do, let's just recap. It allows you to document your domains, your services. We can use filters. If we head back to the code, we go back here, we can just start building up our event architectures. We can start documenting our services. Everything that you do in here, if we override this value, we can override and add some business value, some business context. We can actually do like title, like example, and we can start documenting how you would raise this EventBridge event or some schemas or whatever it is you want to do. The key important thing really here is just to add some context of this event, like this user signed up. What does this mean to the service? What does it mean to the business, the organization? And this way allows us to keep track of connecting EventBridge and also keep connecting to some context that's missing between all these events. If you want to get started, you can head over to the repo and the documentation, eventcatalog.dev, and explore the API documentation or integrations. So let me know what you think. Feel free to join us on Discord. We have over 800 members. So if you have any issues or pull requests or feature ideas, just let us know. And I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope it provides you value. Thank you very much.